going on, great people? Make sure you guys hit that like, share, subscribe button. We're definitely live in the flesh. Let me get this other video ready. Let's make sure we both videos are live. I don't know why I be tripping sometimes. Like when I click this, it'd be the short one, and then when I click out of it, it'd be the other one. Okay, it's the right one this time. Alright. We gotta redo it, unfortunately, but it's cool. It is cool. Let's get to working then. Okay. That's the right side. So make sure you guys hit that like button while we waiting for me to get ready. I think I'm basically ready though. Are we? Oh, let's pull this up a little bit. Yeah. Well, there we go. I want to make sure that's always there. Alrighty. I think we good. So we're gonna start off with Gucci Mane and Pooh, Shiesty, which is crazy, man. Where is it at? How? We're gonna start off with talking about Gucci Mane and Pooh, Shiesty. Allegedly, well, not allegedly no more. He robbed Gucci Mane to get out of his contract. We ain't even in the headphones. Yeah, he robbed Gucci Mane to get out of his contract on some Suge Knight type stuff. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below what you know about this situation. What is my Bluetooth connected to? Then why is it?
Pooh, Shiesty and Big 30 are facing federal charges for allegedly kidnapping and robbing rapper Gucci.
Yeah, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below what y'all know about this situation, how y'all feel about this situation. Pooh, Shiesty. I'm not on both sides because I never agree with somebody doing something like he just did. But at the same time, I feel like if somebody's asking you to get out of the contract, which I'm guessing he did, was asking him to let him out of this contract, and this situation wouldn't even have to come up because, you know, you ain't got to be from the streets to understand the streets. Like, you know, if we gonna take it there, like some people was he just got out of jail, so that explains it. But you know, for Gucci Mane, I guess he felt like, hey, I got you on the contract, I set you up with this life, so I'm not letting you out. But I feel like he should have just let him out, so this situation wouldn't even happen. So let's listen to the news report a little bit.
Gucci Mane. This comes just one day after Fox 13 broke the story about a raid at a Cordova home that belongs to Pooh, Shiesty's dad. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much.
Bro, and his dad involved, so he ain't even had nobody to talk him out of it. Like, usually it's some people, you know, that's who you can go to talk you out of it. Like, hey, you know, just thug it out, or. But this is what they felt like they had to do.
For being with us tonight, I'm Darcy Thomas. A neighbor told Fox 13 that raid started around 5:30 yesterday morning.
They always hitting you early.
A couple of loud booms, so I came outside and, you know, I heard them say, you know, come out with your hands up. We've got a warrant.
Tonight we've learned
that's talking. That's the question.
While agents were arresting Pooh, Shiesty's dad here, agents were also arresting the rapper in Texas. Now, the same day he was released from federal custody after serving 3 years for a gun crime.
3 years for a gun crime. But that's why I go back to the thing is saying, like, bro, this all could have been avoided by him just letting him out the contract. But I'm not saying that's right. But at the same time, if somebody don't want to work for you no more, why are you gonna force them to work for you? Like, what type of person are you? to be like, oh, I got a contract, so I'm gonna force you to work with me, no matter how you feel. Like, what type of work do you think you're gonna get out of that either way if he wouldn't have did this? Which I'm not agreeing with saying he should have did this. Which he did probably mess up a huge bag because he probably could have made some money with Gucci Mane. But at the same time, if somebody's showing that, hey, I don't want to work with you no more, can you just let me out? But, you know, this is when people say, oh,
Fox 13's investigative reporter Kayla Solomon joins us live from the federal courthouse in Memphis, where some of the men implicated are scheduled to go before a judge tomorrow. Kayla, investigators say the alleged crimes happened in Texas.
Yeah, Darcy, the Department of Justice says this all stemmed from a business meeting that occurred in a Dallas.
Right there. People say it's business, which it is what it is. You know, it's business. It is business. Gucci do got the right to be like, hey, I'm not letting you out your contract. You signed it with me. You stuck with me. But I'm on the side of you. And two, you know this, which it shouldn't be right, but you know this guy's a street guy. So you could have got killed by not letting him out this contract. Just because, you know, you feel like this business, which, you know, he didn't, and they made it out, but you could have got killed over something like this. You know, you could have just, like, you know, just let him out. I ain't saying it's right, but I'm just saying, at the same time, you could have just let him out of his contract. And he wouldn't even had to resort to this. Which, if you're going to do this, he would have did it to somebody else or something else eventually, because you too street. Like, you still, you know, you think the street way is the way. And, you know, go to court. Go, you know, fight a lawyer with a lawyer. Because people snitch now. People ain't letting you, you know, street code ain't the street code no more.
This recording
it ain't been that way for a long time.
Studio earlier this year. If you recall, Fox 13 told you that Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, was released from federal prison and placed in a halfway house in Dallas just months ago.
Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims.
Williams, also known as Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty, was signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 record label. Gucci Mane's real name is Roderick Davis. Court records identified the victim of the alleged crimes as RD.
Once these three men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint.
Ryan Raybould is the U.S.
Right there. I don't know why he thought he was gonna get away with it. To be honest, like this ain't the streets no more, bro. These people live with lawyers and all that. I'm surprised there ain't cameras all through the studio. Like, there should have been cameras.
Attorney on the case. He says the other men involved, including Rodney Wright Jr., known as Big 30, and Pooh Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., robbed the victim.
That's the crazy right there.
Of items, including Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items.
That's the thing right there. Y'all should have just, which I don't want to justify this at all, but y'all definitely shouldn't have robbed them of jewelry and all that stuff too. Y'all should have came, got the contract signed, but honestly, at the end of the day, y'all shouldn't have been living these crazy lifestyles and been prepared for people to play these dirty games they play, because the music industry in Hollywood ain't nothing but a snaky world. It ain't nothing but snakes. So you need to prepare for a snake. 9 times out of 10, you know, he ain't like what the contract was saying. And 2, or, you know, you signed it, ride it out. Like, you could have rolled the contract out too. Like, just rolled it out. But at the same time, I feel like it's like you could have let him out the contract too. I don't want to force somebody to work with me when they don't want to work with me. Like, it's both sides to the story. It's like, why not just let them out? Why you want to force somebody to work with you when they don't want to work with you? You don't have no. But, you know, it come down to, you know, the other side of it. They gonna say it's business. You know, I set him up for everything. Everything that he got is, you know, mine type stuff. And that's what gets you in, you know, situations like this, because these people human, and not even necessarily these people is human. These people is from the street. When you disrespect them like that, they gonna take it to the streets. and you don't even know if it's over and out of the streets. And you know, Gucci, he probably protected. He ain't, he ain't in the streets no more. He don't go to the streets and stuff like that. But at the same time, this ain't really related. But Dolph, he thought he was, he thought he was untouchable too. And people find ways to touch people. So,
in hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims.
Raybould also
nah, that was dumb. Don't snitch on yourself, nah. Social media, y'all be so stuck in this social media sometimes, bro, that y'all just gonna snitch on yourself. You gonna post the jewelry online, bro? You gonna brag about robbing them? Like, how unsmart are you that you gonna, first, you ain't smart to do this. Second, you gonna brag about it. You gonna brag about doing it. Like, bruh, hey, some of these people, they be really, some of them is street. They say, I ain't just about rapping, I ain't just rapping it.
Said electronic monitoring placed Pooh Shiesty at the studio in Dallas at the time, even though he was on home detention.
Part of the term.
That's the issue right there, bro. And you was there, and the monitor can place you there too. Man, I don't know how much time they about to give him, but they definitely about to slap him with the book. And it's crazy. I wonder what Gucci about to say about this and how he feel. But it's like, man, they thought they was on some Suge Knight stuff. Listen, when Suge Knight did it, we wasn't in this day and age. We wasn't in social media day and age. It wasn't no cameras catching him. It's cameras everywhere now. It's cameras catching everything. Suge Knight, it wasn't no cameras back in them days. He got away with it and didn't get away with it forever.
Of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal.
But that's where it all trickled down to. His dad should have been there and kind of let him know, like, yeah, let's not do this. But his dad, his dad's probably 9 times out of 10 still in the streets. So he like, shit, when you ain't, let's go take that. And that's, that's that Suge Knight type of attitude. That's that old school gangster type stuff. And old school gangster, they don't understand about the new technology. That is cameras everywhere and everybody snitching now. Like back in the day, it was street code, no snitching, but they snitching now. They not. This ain't, that's just what they do, and it's it's just a game. But I feel like sometimes you gotta be the bigger person and just let him out his contract. You shouldn't force somebody to work with you that don't want to work with you, which is, it's not justifiable. You don't have to, but that's just my take on it. And everybody got their own opinion on how they feel about whatever. But my opinion, he should have let him out, because you shouldn't be happy or whatever to force somebody to work with you. Like, just let him out his contract, bro. Like, now he can't make music and provide for himself because y'all can't come to terms. And you stopping this guy's livelihood, like, and want to act like you probably acting like he his friend and all this other, or acting like he his friend and all this other stuff. Like, bro, smiling in my face and everything. Like, we really cool and we really like this. What's the issue? Nah, because y'all want to hide behind, this business.
Kidnapping as charged in the complaint.
Williams Sr. and 4 of the other men will appear in federal court here in Memphis tomorrow. We know that Pooh Shiesty is expected in federal court also tomorrow, but in Dallas. Coming up at 6, I'll tell you more about what evidence was used in the indictment. Darcy.
That is Fox 13's Kayla Solomon reporting live. Thank you so much, Kayla. Now, she just mentioned Pooh Shiesty has been in trouble with the law before. The rapper was sentenced to 63 months for shooting a man at a Florida hotel in 2020. He pleaded guilty to firearms conspiracy in 2023 to avoid a worse sentence. He was transferred to a halfway house in Dallas earlier this year.
Together, we are strong.
Bro, he's like, I do not care about sitting down. which is crazy to me. Like, you should care about sitting down. Like, that's crazy. Crazy. Make sure you guys like, let me know y'all take on it. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below. I'm on the side of he should have let him out the contract, so this never could have happened. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got him on a contract. That's how you feel. You shouldn't force nobody to work with you. I don't want to work with somebody that I got to force to work with me. But make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below, and check out any other videos. All right, we're going to go to these teams like we did last time. So, violent teens take over. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below. This topic right here is kind of, it's touchy because it's kind of close to me, and I'm kind of, you know, it's like, I don't know. I don't agree with everything they said in this video, because I don't really want to, I'm a person that's a solution-based person. I don't really like pointing the fingers of who fault it was, this is why, this is that, and stuff like that. I like to provide solutions, like what can we do to help this?
Okay, we'll keep it with the driving theme and when things don't work out. Out of control teenagers taking over streets across the nation now. Those scenes from Los Angeles, just a glimpse of what cities are dealing with, and it's not just LA. Right now, city council members in Washington, D.C. are preparing to vote on extending the emergency youth curfew meant to curb these wild events. You're watching Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner here with my co-host Emily Campagna.
And I kind of like, they're going to talk some stuff. My thing is,
It's now
and
spreading.
And watch how the news play it. You see, they said that was coverage of LA. Watch how they gonna play it.
Last few months, police in 11 cities have responded.
Do we see LA on this map? Teen takeovers across the U.S. from 25 to 26. Do you see LA on here? No.
To take over, some of which have turned violent. Many of them events are organized on social media, so they're getting bigger as more people respond. Like this one. Let's take a look. It turned a Wisconsin mall into a madhouse. Videos show hundreds of masked spring breakers invading stores and starting fights. And at least 13 people.
This not even hundreds, though. I don't see where they see hundreds at.
People were arrested in that one. Law enforcement officials are warning viral videos of these events are breeding copycats now. And police departments say they are overwhelmed as a small gathering can devolve into chaos very quickly. Lisa, what's your thought?
Well, I blame Democrats.
This is the one. I don't really agree with what she's saying, but everybody got their own opinion. I feel like this is all for political. This is like a whole political thing right here.
Full stop. I mean, for decades and years now, they have been leading this breakdown of society from all different vantage points, from a policy standpoint to the narrative around policing, also culturally as well. I mean, you look at the policing angle, all the soft on crime stuff that Democrats have pushed, the elimination of cash bail, abolishing the police, and then you get to culturally with welfare, incentivizing single family homes, punishing marriage as well.
Right there. I don't know how she got that out of that. So you feel like them offering welfare is an incentive to abolish people being married. It's just people like, oh, I'm not getting married so I can get on welfare. Like, you think that's what people are thinking, and that's not true at all. Some of these people is really going through stuff. Some of these people is really in bad situations. So for the people that really are in bad situations, you think it shouldn't be no help for them at all. Like, you think is, oh, welfare is helping that. But see, what she don't understand, when she get in a bad situation, she got somebody to lean on. She got a parent to go back to that can help her. It's some people that don't have nobody to lean on. It's people that parents died don't have nobody to lean on. And then there's people, parents just don't have nothing. And when they in a bad situation, they can't do nothing. And then that kind of plays tails on this. Like, I was thinking on a take on what, and there's no excuses for it. Something do need to happen. Like, stuff need to be solved, and we need to find a solution. But the solution is not blaming. Like, and that's all she about to do. Like, I just don't agree with it.
You look at the breakdown of God, of, you know, mocking God as well, mocking the family.
It's the conservative woman. Like, this is what conservative women do.
Unit. And then you look at the narrative around policing. You could go back to Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. President Obama.
Never been in these situations. Been in a, you know, a good household, good neighborhood. You've been in a good household, good neighborhood with good schools your whole life. We've been in neighborhoods without, even if we have a good neighborhood, not good neighborhood, the schools we got sent to, especially when I was younger, the schools I got sent to, we didn't have no activities. All we had in our school was going to school. We didn't have no basketball, no football, no sports. But I bet she can't say in her school that she didn't have none of that. That's at her public school. So
pushed that lie. He said it was a breakdown of, you know,
we did have basketball. Only sport we had was basketball. That's the only activity we had. The rest of the stuff was just school.
Policing, and, you know, really blamed the police throughout the era. You look at Kamala Harris, she went and told Jacob Blake, and
then the thing is, they trying to, the thing is, you're trying to push the narrative that, oh, they're blaming the police. We were blaming the police for this. Not we, because I try to stay out of it. But that's not why they blame the police. They blame the police for doing stuff that they were doing. That's proven on camera what they were doing. This ain't what they blaming the police for. They ain't telling the police to stop policing this. They definitely telling the police to police this shit. They need to be, and I'm not against the police policing this.
Wisconsin, that she was proud of him. A guy who showed up at his own victim's home to re-victimize her and then pulled a knife on police officers. Kamala Harris also encouraged people to fund the Minnesota Bail Fund as well, and to bail out some of those rioters in Minnesota. Mayor Johnson said that law enforcement was a sickness. So you can go down all the way.
Yeah, you're trying to blame some incidents that's what I don't.
Down the line and see how they have led to this degradation of society and this breakdown of society. So I blame the Democrats, full stop.
You know, my guest last hour, Kelly Simpson, was a former U.S. attorney, Emily, and I thought of you when he talked about consequences, and he said this needs a Pavlovian.
Fox News is hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie, it's just too.
Response.
I like that, the bell with the dog.
Yeah.
If we view this through the lens of these are children, then we need to see that they are victims, and they could be victims. And when we talk about the violence, the nature of the crimes that they're engaging in, it is absolutely horrifying. And if you want to have that party see them for what they will, well, then they should understand that there's an epidemic of opportunity and threats to these kids' safety. Now, if you want to look at it through the lens of them being adults.
And see, I can, this opinion, and then even on the other lady, her opinion is her opinion through her eyes and through what she's seen. And she's trying to, I can almost guarantee that she's trying to do some political run, or she's 9 times out of 10. I don't know her, but I can almost guarantee that she's trying to do some political run.
Makes it all the more frightening, and that's what I think we should do. The enforcement mechanism has been totally gutted here. Arrests mean nothing without actual incarceration and consequences.
And I can agree with that. Some of these people definitely need to be arrested, and some consequences need to happen. And the thing is, you guys, as people, the teens that's doing this, y'all are causing it. You can't wreak havoc like this and think there are going to be no consequences, because there are consequences to your actions. It ain't about, oh, we just having fun. No, it's a limit to fun, and you can have fun in a lot of different ways.
The attorney talked about. The reality is that we have demoted family court into some type of summer camp for them. There are no consequences. There's zero accountability, and there's zero incentive for those kids to succeed whatsoever. What options have we provided for them? None in the public school sector.
That's right there. That's a topic. That's a big topic. What opportunities, especially especially for my age range, like especially in my neighborhood, like what opportunities really have been provided. Comparing my schools compared to some of the schools in the suburbs is 100% different. Like it's 100% different. The high schools that we had to go to, and they're getting a little bit better now, but it's not even all. It's not even all the schools. It's some of these schools that still don't have a lot of stuff, a lot of takeaways. It's better now a little bit, which is crazy. It is a little bit better now, but you can't just. The thing is, you can't just tell somebody to go to school and only thing you about to learn is about the history. You about to learn math. You about to read books about stuff that's not interesting. And that's all you about to go to school for. I mean, that's all you, I'm telling you got to go to school to learn this stuff. What is there to, there's nothing, you know, it ain't no activities. Only one activity you'll have in some of these schools is basketball. You ain't got no football. You ain't got tennis. You ain't got track. You ain't got none of that. Only schools that got that are the good schools. But now they kind of limit and close a lot of schools. So some of them more got them. But then nowadays you don't even got it into high school. My nephew and, you know, nieces, they're in middle school. And they middle schools got track, football, a bunch of stuff. And our middle schools ain't got that. None of that. So that's the differences of advantages that these public schools have and that these pieces don't have. And it ain't all about that, because you can look at this video. This ain't all public school people.
We've talked about the millions of dollars that we've shoved toward the unions. They're not being educated. They're not being cared for. They're not being fed in some instances.
But that's just what the media is feeding them. It's not about just, it's not about, this is not all people from the hood. This is not at all.
The family unit, so they're not going home to God. They're not going home to a stable unit. Perhaps their one family member is out working 4 jobs to try to put that food on the table. So instead, they're incentivized by social media, by the dopamine hits. And
they are incentivized by that, but it's not the fact that they're not going home to, they could be going home to 2 households. Money is greed. It's all about money, and social media don't help. But all of these people are not one single household people. Like some of these people got both of their parents.
By the apps that encourage them to be violent and to be viral at the expense of the collateral damage, which is good American citizens losing their lives, their livelihoods, and their property. And we're supposed to just call them kids?
Ooh, you know what you just tipped into? So we've been following all these social media trials. Think about the victims in some of these, and people do get hurt in some of these instances. Think about the argument that they can make, like this formed on social media. Are you going to try to cull this or block it? And a lot of these people are minors, according to my last guest. The U.S. Attorney, Cully Stimson, said most of the carjackings in Washington, D.C. are by 14-year-olds. I mean, it's a lot. Your thoughts?
It's just a symptom of the breakdown of the family. I mean, obviously, dads, where are you?
That's just what it is. We just gonna blame. We gonna blame everybody. And at the end of the day, it's a little bit of a lot of stuff. It's a little bit of a lot of stuff, and it's coming down to the stuff that y'all putting these people in these inner cities that they gotta go through, that only selective schools got all the good stuff, and you can go to a high school out in the suburbs that got way more than, you can't get track or football, basketball. You can't even get that until you get to high school at some of the high schools that's in these urban cities. You go to the suburbs, you getting that in middle school. And not only that, you're getting even more stuff. So let's not blame that though.
You stepping in to
let's not blame the circumstances that you putting these people in too.
Train your children. I know my daughters, when they were born, as soon as they could understand English, the very first thing I trained them on is that you will not disrespect your mother. That was the #1 rule in our home, and it still is. And
but people only know what they go through. They only see what they see, you know. Which I'm not justifying some of this, because some of this is just like, it ain't no excuse for some of this, but it's no one thing to blame. It's a bunch of stuff. And people don't want to talk about the past, but the past is the reason too, because it's piled up from years after years after years after years after years of stuff. Like, y'all love to say, oh, we can't talk about what happened in the past, but okay, this person, we go, okay, this person, they don't got their dad. They got killed. Okay. Now this person don't got their dad, and now this person raised up. Or even if this are Drickles. Everything's a Drickle from a Drickle. You got people in neighborhoods that's coming from, oh, this person coming from money, coming from this, coming from money. Oh, this person coming from nothing. And then coming from another nothing. And then maybe they did come from two people, and then that person died, and now this person is nothing. And then now this person is nothing. Coming from a lot of nothings. And then, oh, let's take all the stuff, now let's force them into just a little spot. What was that? Hold on. I'm sorry. My alarm went off. Is my camera back on? Gonna be a little delay on that, but you know, you can't force people into nothing and think you gonna get positive out of nothing. So I'm not sure what the solution gonna be, but I'm not really somebody that like to blame. I'm a solution based person. Like, I'm not about to just strictly just blame and not ignore the past either.
From that, you grow respect for mankind, for others, and also for society, and also for our nation, and those individuals that are making this nation great. And the looting you see taking place in these videos, it's just very sad. Break down the family is a big part of this.
I think I thought all great points, the breakdown of the family, the challenges with policy. Another thing is the effort from law enforcement to catch up with something. With social media taking off and allowing this collaboration, they're now turning to, you know, these other takeovers that sometimes use vehicles. Very, very dangerous. These, not necessarily, but there have been a lot of laws that have been put in place to address those kinds of takeovers with
motorcycles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now they're planning to use those laws to effectively react to this in the same way. And one of the other things that I think might potentially be powerful is to going after the organizers civilly, not just criminally, but civilly as well. Now, whether or not there's much to recoup there, but to hold them
Definitely, to hold them accountable for
responsible in some sort of way. So I think law enforcement is also struggling to catch up with this as it gets underway.
I like solutions. I don't like problem. I like solution based. Like, do a solution. Don't just try to blame. This person fault, is that person fault. I like solutions. That's, you know, I'm a big solution person.
Right.
So what's interesting about that, you talked about the parents, specifically the father in the home.
So I really can't, you know, he gonna kind of say the same stuff and, you know, talk about the father's missing, and which is a case, and, you know, in some cases, but it's a bigger problem than simplify, you know. And then sometimes these people is talking about these topics and never had to live in these circumstances. That's a difference too. Like, y'all never had to live in none of them circumstances and be none of these people. Now they do have a choice to do better stuff and do different stuff, but y'all have never been in these situations, and y'all have never been in these neighborhoods. Y'all never had to go to these schools that had nothing, and only thing you had to do was learn. And then you're forced around some of these people that both of their parents then got killed, and they living with their grandma and don't know how to experience that. And it's like, people hate when people talk about the past, but a lot of this is trickled down from the past, a lot of it. And you want to say, oh, this has been over for so long, but you got to understand, if you take that away and none of that is trickled from that, and you got better stuff that's trickled from that, then it's a totally different circumstance. But I feel like they wouldn't understand, because they never had to be forced to live in them circumstances. And some people don't got enough power to be like, oh, I'm about to, they mind already messed up. And then they got the money. They got the love of the money. Like they watching all this stuff. Y'all pushing it. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment below. This topic is kind of where is that? And everybody got their opinion. I'm not against nobody's opinion, but I'm never against just, you know, I don't like people, you know, stepping on people that's on the ground and stumping on them already. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below, and we go from there. What's our next topic? Ooh. Oh, this plane. Don't get no better, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
This digital calendar lightening my mental load makes it worth every penny. I wasn't fully convinced the Skylight calendar would be able to do.
Like this video right here is showing some black women getting kicked off, some younger black women getting kicked off the plane, and I don't understand when people do this stuff. It makes no sense, to be honest. Let me cut my Bluetooth off on here. What do you say? Y'all got that mop around here. Damn. See, this is why I didn't. God. This is exactly why I wanted to not have him come, man. Like, bro. I'm at the end stream for now.